here we go. 2023 Miami Dolphins draft is fini. Pencil it in. Players have all been taken. The majority of the roster that we're going to have going into this critical season is here. With the collection of players you see is the guys that are going to make or break us in this absolutely pivotal season. There'll be a little here and there. Some people still think Cook. I don't think so. I think A-Chain, drafted in the third. Thanks, brother, for teaching me how to say his name properly. I was calling him Aiken. Yuts. But thanks. A-Chain kind of spells, no, that's not going to happen because we can afford it this year, but the 10-plus for Cook with Hunt and Connor, who are going to get 10-plus more as a free agents next year. You're going to have Sealer, who's going to get 18 to 20 and maybe more if he has a good season, and 25 for Wilkins. I don't think you can afford $10 million for a running back after spending a third on him now. So I think this is the roster, and Dolphins fans, as we want to do, are split down the middle. Some people are appalled. Some people are ecstatic. And really, you got your evaluations. I got mine. The Dolphin staff have theirs. We've all got projections. And it's this big soup. But that big soup is going to come and hit reality on the football field in September. And that's great, exciting stuff. But we'll find out what is what then. So Chris Greer has chosen the road less traveled along with Mike McDaniel. And there is a level of courageousness and you got to give the guy gumption and respect for taking this road less traveled because, as it was once said, it made all the difference. So this amazing collection of talent, I mean, speed like you can't believe, players on defense you can't believe, could take this road less travel and make it a brilliant decision and shine like the sun and have an epic season for us. It could. This is not just bloviation. You have Hill and Waddle. The two of them together, the threat they put, the puckering up of the keisters on the defense to worry about the deep threat, I don't think I can even remember that kind of fear being created. And then you add in the chosen Anderson, who's another 6'3" guy who can strike fear into teams. Add A-Chain in his 4.32, along Mostert. This is potency rarely seen, and it could be exactly what it's being billed as. Space could be created, points could be racked up, the defense could shut the opposing offense down, give the ball back for more points, maybe get some picks, and the whole team could be sitting drinking margaritas by halftime for most of the games. It really could. It's not just fantasy. But reality is reality. The road less traveled is less traveled for a reason. Most people take the road less traveled or eaten by bears and then pooped out. That's why it's less traveled. So this offensive line thing, the blocking thing, the physicality thing, it's real. It could be a problem, but we don't know. Let's see. I'm going to go over the roster. Go over the draft picks that we got. Cam Smith in the second round, cornerback / safety. Third round, Devon A-Chain, explosive running back in the third. Elijah Higgins in the sixth, slot receiver / F tight end. And light my hair on fire in the seventh round, we grabbed Ryan Hayes, 6'6", tackle. So these four guys, I'm going to go over them, did a little extra digging. I'm going to add a little sauce on top of that, as some people, I've been reading the comments and thinking about it, possibilities and options and whatever else I've heard so far. Okay? So, guys, just be excited. This is the year we find out what is what. We've got an ultra interesting team to evaluate in an ultra interesting division. I don't know if it's going to make us happy at the end, but it sure should make us excited now to see what the heck is going to happen with this roster that we got. It's so interesting. Let's hope it's so wonderful. Anyway, thanks for stopping by. I want to give you a shout out. Shout out to Ace Bread, my sponsor. Without you, without them, this show ain't going down. Ace Per Head's betting software is the premier white label platform for bookies to manage their players and grow their sportsbook operation. Click the link in the description below to get set up in minutes. Ask for the Curtis promo and get a special introductory discount. All right, so Cam Smith is a high IQ guy. That's the one thing I kept hearing over. High IQ, ability to play here, ability to play there. And a lot of people talked about safeties, playing safety. Now remember, Fangio, he loves mirror safeties. And this guy has shades of Holland-esque style play. A little 6'1", a little small, 180. But the high IQ can help him overcome some of that second gear issues, a little bit of athletic limitations that kind of could hurt him outside. He could play a little nickel. He could play a little safety. Fangio could move him around, be a piece on the chessboard. And so I get it. I didn't get it maybe right away as much as I'm getting it now. Not to saying I think it was the right move, but I totally understand. Cornerbacks, defensive backs are critical. Fangio wants to mirror safeties. Elliott, he might be that, but he's more like maybe a journeyman type guy. You might have the ability, if this guy plays to a high enough level to play boundary, to move off Howard next year. So there's a lot of things there that made sense with this pick. Now, he's had some injuries. He was ranked 10th by PFF, whatever that means, out of the cornerback. So, it's not a perfect pick. But as you add that safety concept in there, it does add more value and more sense. Now, some people are saying, well, you can't draft for need. You get screwed over and you get the wrong guy. You got to take best player available. Well, a little counter to that, you got my man Tommy, a Mafia Sports Reporter, who's going crazy. That's his man, Osiris Torrance, number one guard, considered in the draft by many. He was there for us. We passed over him. John Michael Schmitz, top 1 or 2, depending on who you talk about, center. So it wasn't just we went best player, because these guys were taken pretty close to what Cam Smith was taken. So we could have got maybe first or second best center and maybe the first best guard. Now, there were scheme issues there, so I kind of understand it, but still there's avenues through that where, you could get use out of these guys. I'm not going to dig into it now. I'll dig into it another day when I do my offensive line stuff, which I like. But I understand why we took him, but there were other avenues. And so if you really want to evaluate this fairly and not be a cheerleader, watch the guys that were available, that we didn't pass on, that we might have needed, that were in the vicinity, and see how they compare. It's going to take time. You're not going to be able to get a quick, exciting take on it. So I do understand the Cam Smith. I can't fault him for that. Now, in the third round, A-Chain, he is a pop player. I watched tape on him. And when you go back, I watched his championship, his bowl game. I was real impressed. He was hurt. He looks like a good kid. He looks like a tough kid. I like a lot about this kid. He's like a half gapper. He comes up the line of scrimmage and he can shuffle his feet and he can make a little small half gap jump or bend it out. Very quick, good instincts. But if you go look at his production, 50% of his production came wide, where C, A, and B gap was equal to that. And he really didn't do much in the A and B gap. And he had lots of holes when I was watching him play. And it's not going to be the same. Now, I like the kid. I like the player. But how does it mesh with our offensive line that does not generate holes? We'll see. Maybe they will. For me, I liked got a lot of men now these days. I got Tommy, I got Tehran, and now I got Darnell Washington. Now, as a brother here, he knows tons about football, more than me, I'd assume. I know he's played at a higher level. And he was like, I'm not really big on Washington. And then other people were saying, like, why don't you mention the injuries? Well, the injury thing wasn't even brought up until after he was drafted. I must have missed it. But the injury thing, I think, is a little blown up. And if you think about it, we're the Dolphins. We love injuries. If you're injured, we want you on our team. 2, a blown out hip. His career might be over. We got you fit overall. And then, the whole first season, he should have been playing. We forced him in, and he wasn't himself until the second season, maybe more like the third. But so we were willing to wait a whole season for that. We got Jay Ajayi I mean, was he 5th round, I think, or something? But still, we got him on bone, and he's a running back. We traded for Brandon Albert, who was injured, and he had 2 seasons with him. He was gone. On and on. We got guys that got injured. We don't say, Greer loves to say injuries don't bother me. And so I'm not, what it wasn't even a blown out knee. He had a small scope on his knee, but some teams felt like, well, maybe this was something. And I get that, but the Steelers are one of the best, and they took him. But from a play standpoint, the brother, real smart, he's like, I don't really like him. So I went back, I watched a bowl game, and I watched another game. I can't remember what the team is. I don't watch college. All those weird uniforms all look the same. But from a talent standpoint, he has the same physical stats as Mike Gesicki. Now, Mike Gesicki, you could say he's a mid to late clock guy, a little slow, but look what he was with Fitzpatrick. He was like on the way to start him, and then he kind of fell off. So this guy is 20 pounds heavier. His 10 split is just about equal. He had better shuttle. He's an unbelievable blocker. This guy was erasing people. And we ran, at least last year, tons of 2 and 3 wide receiver set where the tight ends were critical in making these pass blocks. And he was erasing so many guys in the pass game to allow the quarterback to make plays. And in the run game, he was turning people around and laying them out. And it made Curtis happy. And I was very excited. But the brother was saying he might be a glorified blocker. And when I went to watch him, he is a little slow in a get-off. He is a mid to late clock guy, 100%. But he was doing some stops and bend-outs. He had a little speed in the mid to late clock. He had the high vertical. And I think that guy can play. And I know he's as good as a pass-catching option as Durham Smythe or Tanakana or Saubert. And with potential to do more, because when you watched his play, that quarterback, he was like the last option. They had that tight end that he loved. There must have been like a bromance there. And then he loved to run it himself. Then he had the good run game, and there was like one receiver he liked, and it was like, okay, it's time to throw him down. And there was so many times he was open that he wasn't getting the ball. A little bit of hand issue maybe here and there that I saw in one game. Tough catch he dropped in the end zone. But this guy looks like a player. And if the Steelers are going to take him and laughing about it, this is a critical comparison for us. How we do in the blocking. How does A-Chain do in relation to Washington? That's a big, big evaluation for Chris Grier and this staff. I like him. I think we should have rolled the dice. We had this big window, this awesome, beautiful window of maximum talent in 2023 that dips a little bit in 2024. And in 2025, we're resetting anyway. So we have Eichenberg, who wasted 2 seasons. That was like a waste. And then you have Jackson, who wasted 4 seasons. Tua, you forced him in and kind of wasted 1 year there. We've wasted so many seasons. Tyndale and Easy came in, didn't play last year. So if you can get 2 or 3 seasons for this guy in one contract, and he can block his way to get you to get a big win or get to the Super Bowl, it's worth it. The light's going out. Felt my heat. So I think we should have drafted Washington. I could be wrong. We'll see. That's the beauty of the evaluation. That's what I do here is evaluation. So then we got Elijah Higgins, who's very, very intriguing. He looks built like you wouldn't want. 6'3", 230, 235, depending on how many hamburgers he ate. And he's not a terrible blocker. And I can see him playing out wide, coming in the crack, coming inside to take the linebacker or a safety. And then you got your speed guys hitting the edge or him making some plays inside the red zone or coming over the middle. The kid looked pretty good for a 6th-round pick. I liked the pick, even though it was another receiver, because we spent on Easy last year. And so I sort of feel it's like a drunk guy just keeps buying the same thing, the lotto tickets and scratching them off. But I understand it. But you got to take rolls of the dice on other players too. Easy's got to pan out. This guy's got to pan out. Then you got Hill, Waddle, Chosen, and then Wilson, who we should trade. No more receivers. But this is an interesting player. Little, kind of can get lost in space a little bit in the blocks. But I think from what I saw, if he plays that slot, they were saying he can come in for a 2 tight end set. I don't see that. But maybe. We'll see. We'll see what he's willing to commit with his body. But I like that. This might be my favorite pick, actually. I like the Cam one, I sort of understand, even though I had wanted to maybe see something else. But this one right here, nice roll of the dice. And then we got Ryan Hayes, 6'6", 298. He's got Tyrannosaurus Rex arms. Not like Kinley, who had like super Tyrannosaurus Rex arms. He's like this. And so he's not going to play tackle. He's going to come in and play guard. And he's a 7th round pick. And so the chances of him making it are. But his family, I think his family was he's got a good lineage, comes from mother and father who were pretty good athletes. They say he's really smart. And I personally think, from what I've seen, I'm no expert, but to me, could he really play any worse than Eichenberg? And the fact that they bring him in here, I would love to see real competition. And at least we took a shot on an offensive lineman. And so it makes Curtis kind of happy. So the collection here, I would like to have seen more linemen. I would like to have seen a standard tight end. I would have liked to have seen Washington. But there is potential here. We got to see how it plays out. You know, we have to understand that not everything's a gem. And we have to understand that everything is not a load of poop. How much is it amount up to? We'll see. Get ready. It's going to come out hot. The schedule we have this year, and being in the division we're going to be in, as it appears, the wiggle room to have your 3-4 game skid, like the Dolphins like to do, ain't cutting it this year from what it seems. This might, from the teams that I'm seeing on our schedule, they ain't going to be easy. I'm an English guy. They're not going to be easy. I get ghetto every once in a while. So we got to be on point. And if this is the right build, it's going to be the right build to make the right plays in this critical season. Let's see, guys. Anyway, hope you enjoyed. Have hope. Be a little realistic. Last thing. I never wear a Dolphin shirt. Ever. I've never worn a Dolphin shirt doing this, or a jersey. Reason I do that, I got my stuff around here, is because I really want to be an evaluator. I want to be fair. I don't want to be a cheerleader. It's very easy when you get caught up into the fandom of it. But my kids were out with the wife, and they saw this whole rack of Dolphin shirts. They want to buy 15 for daddy, who they love. And my wife's like, no, he gets one. That's it. So they bought me one. They brought it home. I was like, oh, thanks, kid. You're the best, kids. They're like, well, aren't you going to wear it on your show? And I'm like, I didn't want to say to him, no, I don't want to evaluate. I don't want to look like a cheerleader. I got the puppy dog eyes, and I had to do the right thing as daddy. So I put the shirt on here for this draft. I will wear it again, or some of my other ones, if we win that first playoff game to the Super Bowl. But I had to be a good daddy, and I got a little emotional blackmail with the puppy dog eyes. So this is the last time you'll see it for a while, hopefully until the postseason. Anyway, thanks for staying tuned, guys. Have a blast. That's what this is all about. Believe, have hope, and let's see big season. Curtis saying, catch you next time. Be well. See you soon. Start building your own online sports book today by getting signed up with aceperhead.com service that'll allow you to book action on sports from all around the world.